All right, members and folks in the audience, we're going to get started. Sorry, we're running a little late. State committee there had an eventful hour and a half, and Madam Clerk, go ahead and take the roll.
Representatives Bricken, Bolso, Capley, Eldridge, Gant, Garrett, Grills, Harris, Lambert, Littleton, Parkinson, Powell, Russell, Stevens, Todd, Vice Chairman Jernigan, Chairman Farmer. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
And thank you, members. Any comments, announcements, or recognitions before we start? Representative Powell, you recognize, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I figured it'd be appropriate, given this is Civil Justice Committee. I had a good friend, and his son is still a very, very close personal friend. But John Rowe passed away. He was one of the founders of Sherrard and Rowe Law Firm. Was a real, just extremely talented, gifted attorney. In fact, he helped co-author the 2008 Condominium Act. He passed away, but I just wanted to, if we could, have a moment of silence in his honor, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, members. Anyone else before we get started? All right, we've got a calendar. Item 1, House Bill 2119 by Chairman Faison has been rolled for a week. He's asked that be rolled. So, members, any objection to that? All right, seeing none. 1 week. Brings item 2, House Bill 1303 by Representative Thompson. You got a motion and a second. You're probably recognized.
Chairman Committee. Now, this is, every year our Department of Children's Services collects data regarding child adoption, child abuse, neglect, youth in transition in the foster care system. And this information is accumulated and transmitted to the Federal Children's Bureau as a condition for federal funding and grant programs. And all this bill would do is to require that not only do we continue to report this information, but also that the Department of Children's Services would make this information available on their public website. And, this is a means of ensuring more transparency and visibility in our state departments. And we want to make sure that we continue to invest in our children of the state to provide extra clarity to the public on how we are accomplishing the goals of the department. And the department is deferred on this, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Sounds good. Members, any questions or comments for Representative Thompson? Representative Garrett, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Representative Thompson, for bringing the legislation in the subcommittee. I guess I was a lone no vote on it, and I believe I had an opportunity to kind of explain that, and I just wanted to explain to the committee. This is already published. The Department of Children's Services puts this information and links it from the federal government, so it's kind of doubling the efforts. That's the only reason why I had a little bit of heartburn, is making them do something that's kind of redundant. Since they already provide this information, it's already there, and it's just a link to our website that links to the federal government's website. Now we're going to have basically 2 ways to find that, which I didn't articulate this well in the subcommittee, but I'm afraid that might be confusing. So that's the only reason why I wanted to bring up that particular issue with, I believe, this particular legislation, doubling the efforts and potentially confusing, well, which link is right? Which one do I pick on? So that's the one. My concerns on the piece of legislation, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Thompson, any response?
I would think that just having it in 2 different places would make sure that the public would offer more visibility to the public, and people can have access to see this information that may not see it if it were just on the federal website.
Okay. Chairman Todd. No? Members? Leader Lambert.
Thank you. So I listened to your opening presentation. I've read the bill, obviously, but the information is already on the state website, correct? As a link to the federal website?
I believe it is.
So what exactly are you asking them to do? Again, when I read your bill initially, and I don't believe I'm on the committee this came through, but when I read your bill originally and I listened to your recitation, what it did, it sounded like you were adding something to the state website that isn't currently there. But now it sounds like you're saying that it is currently there. So I'm just trying to figure out which one it is.
This is simply to ensure that this information is on the website. That it's just placed on here to make sure that it's going to be there.
Clear.
So if I were to go to their website right now, okay, and I can do that, while we're here in the committee, is it on the website? Like, can you tell us where it would be on there right now?
Honestly, I have not personally looked at it.
Mr. Chairman, can we just roll this to the hill of today's calendar? And I'm not saying beyond today, but can we just roll this to the hill? Let's look it up real quick, see what's on there and what's not. And then, and I'm not, if there's other people on the list, I'm not saying we have to do it right now, but I'd like to at least try to find out what's on there and what we're adding.
And Representative Thompson, do you mind to do that? And I'm interested to know as well.
Sure.
Okay.
I can do
we
that.
can handle these. Representative Powell, do you want to ask a question real quick?
If I could ask a question, just because I'd like clarification on this, and I understand sometimes data is published on websites and it's there, but I'm not sure it's always by code or by statute. Sometimes things can just be published and then they can disappear. So if we could, if we're going to roll this to Hill, and I'm fine with that, but if we could get an answer to that,
Sure.
I'd appreciate it.
I think that's our intent. Members, any objection? Rolling House Bill 1303 to the Hill? See none. To the Hill. All right, brings us to
Thank you,
item
Mr. Chairman.
3. Item 3, House Bill 2788. Chair Lady Littleton, ma'am, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill authorizes the District Attorney's General Conference, the administrative officers of the court, the Tennessee Chapter of Children's Advocacy Centers, and the Department of Children's Services and law enforcement agencies to enter into data sharing agreements for the purpose of annual reports to the Judiciary Committee of the Senate and the Civil Justice Committee of the House of Representatives, and for all Child Advocacy Center annual reports.
And thank you for that explanation. Members, any questions for Chair Lady Littleton before we vote? Seeing none, question's been called. Any objection? All right, so we're ready to vote to send House Bill 2788 to calendar and rules. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. Bill
Thank
moves
you,
on.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Item 4, House Bill 2710. Representative Garrett, you got a motion and a second. You're probably recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Committee. House Bill 2710 deals with conservatorships, and I deal with a number of these in my law practice. Conservatorship is where you petition the court to act on behalf of someone that can act on themselves, and you need a physician statement that a physician agrees with the petitioner who is asking to be the conservator, that the person has some sort of mental difficulty where they can't act on their own. That form has to be notarized. And what we run into for some counties with large populations is that there's not always a notary that's in the doctor's office, and it slows down that form. And obviously we're in a position where we need forms back as fast as possible. So what this is doing, it's changing the notary declaration on the physician's form and making that sworn under oath with the penalty of perjury if a physician's opinion is ever challenged and he gave that in bad faith, et cetera. So that's the only thing this particular piece of legislation is doing. Mr. Chairman, I'll be happy to answer any questions on the same.
Thank you, Representative Garrett. Members, any questions or comments for Representative Garrett? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. Any objection? Seeing none. All right, looks like we're ready to vote. Send House Bill 2710 to calendar and rules. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Bill moves on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Committee.
And you also have item 5, Representative Garrett, House Bill 2715. You've got a motion and a second. You're properly recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 2715 simply adds an additional trial court to the 18th Judicial District, which is Sumner County, the home of myself, Representative Leader Lamberth, Leader Slater, and of course Federal Hale. We are adding an additional trial court judge in that district. So with that, I'll be happy to take any questions from the committee.
Members, any questions? Representative Powell, you're recognized.
Could you just elaborate on the reason for the need for a trial court? Is it population growth? Is it not meeting caseload? What is the reasoning for that?
Representative Garrett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The comptroller does a weighted case analysis of how many cases that are in a particular judicial district. And with the growth in Sumner County, it is justified that we are basically need another judge for the amount of cases that are filed. So there's a weighted case study that's performed ever so often. I'm not really sure exactly how often those weighted case studies are performed, but that demonstrates the need for judges across the state. You will probably see several bills where we have other locations that need judges as well, but it's also a matter of funding. And so it's that case weighted study that says when a new judge in a particular district is warranted. And that weighted case study says Sumner County is one of those counties.
Representative Powell, any follow-up? Members, Leader Lambert, you recognize, sir.
I just wanted to reiterate on that. One, I appreciate you bringing the bill, obviously, but there are 3 other judgeships that need to be done. I mean, I believe it's the 23rd, 18th, 4th, and 19th. I believe are the 4 that under that study. I mean, it is crystal clear. I mean, there's a couple jurisdictions out there that are actually a little heavy on judges and could be trimmed back, but we don't normally do much of that, though it could be done under that weighted caseload study. But then there are others that definitely are in need. So there's really 4 that should be going forward this year, in my opinion. This is just one of them.
Thank you for that. Leader Lambert. Members, any additional questions or follow-up for Representative Garrett before we vote? Are we ready? All right. Any objection to voting to send House Bill 2715 to Finance, Ways and Means? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Ayes have it. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
Brings us to item 6, House Resolution 101 by Representative Bolso. And you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, members of the committee. This is part of the annual rules package that comes to us from the Supreme Court of Tennessee. On January 11, the Supreme Court adopted revisions to the rules of appellate procedure. Those rules now have to be approved by statute by the General Assembly, and I certainly move for their adoption.
Members, any questions for Representative Bolso? Leader Lambert, you're recognized.
Chairman, I might have to send this to legal. I'm not sure, but if Chairman Bolso there can answer this, it'd be fine. I just want to know whether or not it's an ethical or any type of objectionable type issue if you have the chairman of the Rules Commission carrying the rules that are being approved by the legislature, who then votes on those rules. I don't know. Oh, I've got an objection, Mr. Chairman. I will brag on Representative Bolso. He does chair the Rules Commission and does a very good job of that. I also serve on that. It is no conflict whatsoever for him to do that, but I'm just having a little fun with him. Appreciate your leadership on the Rules Commission. You do a fine job there, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Leader.
Yeah, thank you, Leader Lambert. You made Representative Bolso's day today. Has a glowing smile all about itself right now. His demeanor is great. Questions have been called. All those in favor, any objection? All those in favor of House Resolution 101 going to calendar rule, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. All right. You also have item 7, sir. House Resolution 102. You're properly recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the other part of the rules package. These are the revisions to the Tennessee Rules of Civil Procedure that the Supreme Court adopted on January 11. And obviously, Leader Lambert is a member of that Rules Commission, and his participation has proven invaluable over the years. I think it would be difficult for the commission to do its job as well as it does in the absence of having Leader Lambert on the commission. So we would move for adoption of these rules as well.
Very good. You had the votes for a minute. Members, any questions for Representative Bolso? Are we ready to vote? Looks like we are. All those in favor of sending House Resolution 102 to counter rule, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Thank you. That brings us to item 8, House Bill 1994 by Representative Stevens. Sir, you're properly recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill establishes a process to transfer conservatorships and guardianships from county to county. Currently, there is a process to transfer from state to state, but not county to county, and each county does it differently. This bill came from the section of the Bar Association that works with conservatorships, and they presented this to me and asked me to file it. And so I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about it.
And thank you for that explanation, Representative Stevens. Members, have any questions for Representative Stevens? Are we ready to vote? Any objection? Seeing none. All right. All those in favor of sending House Bill 1994 to calendar and rule, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Thank you. And that brings us to the hill of today's calendar, and that would be Representative Thompson. And yes, I see, he's patiently. And you got a motion in a second, sir. We'll wait till you get up there and let us know what we figured out. This is House Bill 1303, item 2. You recognize.
Well, I have not been able to find this yet. Can I roll this 1 week?
Chairman Todd, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to send this to summer study.
All right. There's objection. That's proper motion. There's objection to that. So you recognize. Yeah, point of order.
I guess it is when we go out, when we check out Sonny Die, it's over. There are no studies, or we're not in session anymore. Is that correct? I don't know. I'm just asking the question.
Leader Lambert, would you mind answering that for us? Thank you.
So as long as the 113th General Assembly is still in existence, which will occur until the election this year, I believe the speaker can put together a committee and have a summer study. Now, it would obviously be for whomever is elected to the 114th General Assembly to act upon. But I don't know of anything that would prohibit us from being able to analyze this year issue or anything else, just as we can be called into special session. Though we've been through plenty of those, I would hope that that wouldn't be necessary. But Representative Jernigan, we're going to try to get as much work as we possibly can out of you before your term ends. So if we
Lord.
need to come in on a summer study, I think it would still be possible.
You talked me out of my own. Thank you.
And I guess my question is, I had, Representative Thompson, you recognize.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. No, this is a small bill. It's not going to, I can envision having a summer study just to go over this item. The Senate has already passed it. It won't take very long to find this information. We just can't do it within the time limit of this committee meeting. And I should be able to find out probably later today.
Okay. Well,
And, and
procedurally, here's where we're at. Chairman Todd has asked and made a proper motion to send us a summer study. There's been 3 members that have objected to that motion. So unless Chairman Todd would like to withdraw his motion and allow you another week to work on this, we're about to vote on whether or not we're going to hear the motion for summer study. So, did you?
I mean, I was just trying to give the reason why it would be more practical, in my opinion, to go ahead and take it up the next week and instead of going through the summer study process.
All right. The motion stands. So we're going to vote on whether or not to send this bill to summer study. Representative Powell, were you on the list before the motion was called? I just want to make sure I don't want to leave anybody out here to have an opportunity to speak.
I was on the list. And I would just say, if the member that made the motion, I mean, basically, he's asking for a 1 weekly study. And if he doesn't have a proper answer, I think he'd either withdraw this bill or we can see fit to kill it in this committee. But I just hate to move things to a summer study when this could be answered in a week and we can dispose of it as we wish then. So I just ask if that member might withdraw that and just let us roll it a week and let them study it for a week rather than wait till the summer.
Chairman, you want to stand on your motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'm trying to be nice to the sponsor because I felt a really cool breeze blowing on this bill and I felt like it was going to die. So I'm trying to be nice
Fair
and give
enough.
him a motion that maybe it wouldn't just die a horrendous death.
Fair enough. All those in favor of sending House Bill 1303 to summer study, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Bill goes to summer study. And that concludes our calendar. Members, have anything else before we adjourn? All right. See you none. We're adjourned.